right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Listen, I don't know who this is for, but check this. Everybody doesn't need access to your life or your presence. Let me repeat that. Everybody doesn't need access to your life or what you have going on. Because not everybody is clapping for you. Not everybody is praying for you. Not everybody is wanting the best for you. And not everybody is good for you. Some people just around to get the intel, just so they can tell. Some people around you just so they can hate, because they could never be. And some people just need access to have identity. And all of those characters that I just named off are what you call vipers. They will take. They takers and vipers like a snake. And they will take. And you'll actually think you have it going on because they congratulate you, handshake you, and cheer for you in your wrong. But they're all waiting on your demise. Because the moment you fall is their opportunity to gain your position. Be careful who you allow in proximity with your success. Be careful who you allow in your home, in your bed, but most importantly, in your mind. Be careful, because everybody's agenda is not good, even though it appears to be. See, we can have fun, but I choose who I will have fun with. Having a good time doesn't mean that it's safe for my life. Having a good time is questionable when it's a demise to who I'm called to be. I'll catch you later, because you will never be able to sit with me. Get your own table. Because see, I know who you are and what you came to do. Not on my watch. Who sent you? Brandy Jan scripted.
Wait, Andy, who is that lady?
Friendly Jan scripted.
Boy, who upset her? Hey, there were several things that she spoke of. Can't let everybody into your space. Your space is sacred by default. After today, we only have 2 more episodes in this series, right? The series, the spiritual laws of relationship that you must respect. To go even deeper, the unseen spiritual laws of intimate relationship that you must respect. We are on episode 6, and when I tell you the feedback from this series has been crazy. People reaching out in the DMs, hey man, this show was nuts. Everybody's talking about their favorite episode. And today's episode will be no different. The law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark energy, forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. You already know what it is. This is a national discussion, and I want to get everybody's perspective and opinion on tonight's topic. What if the greatest threat to your evolution isn't who harms you, but who gains access to you unearned? Wait, let me bring that back. I'm sorry. What if the greatest threat to your evolution isn't who harms you, but who gains access to you unearned? The law of access contends that intimacy without discernment is not love. It is energetic leakage disguised as vulnerability. Drawing from trauma theory, quantum coherence, and esoteric spiritual law, this episode seeks to obliterate the illusion that exposure equals intimacy, attraction, or attachment. It is a privilege calibrated to frequency, not familiarity. Listen to what I'm saying, man. Whoever's in your presence is on your vibrational level. They're on your frequency. Sometimes the breakup is the up level. That's another show. To share the unprocessed depths of your being with an incoherent soul is to commit spiritual malpractice against yourself. Intimacy becomes a form of trespassing. Vulnerability becomes violation. And what masquerades as connection becomes a parasitic cord. Here we confront the heretical truth. Oversharing is not courage. It is often a trauma reflex, begging for containment. Boundaries are not emotional walls. They are ontological membranes preserving the integrity of your being. Time does not heal wounds. It calcifies them unless alchemized through presence. And love, if not rooted in reciprocal reverence, is simply possession in sacred costumes. Who have you allowed to come into your presence? Huh? Whose presence have you been in and you knew, Lord, I'm in trouble now? Why am I even here? What have I done? This is not a relationship podcast episode. That's not what this is. This is a metaphysical indictment against the casual commodification of the soul. Your intimacy is sacred technology, and not all who desire it have earned the bandwidth to hold its voltage. Guard it. Not out of fear, but because divinity never negotiates with incoherence. When you're unindividuated, you're incoherent spiritually. That means you're going to go into someone else's life. They might be equally as incoherent as you, but both of y'all are a mess. Incoherent is a synonym for a mess. And you guys are just going to make a bigger mess. Right? Divinity never negotiates with incoherence. Somebody get to me right now. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. We're talking about the law of access. You've shut off access to your own unindividuated self. So you're going to allow access to everybody. Is everybody free before 10 p.m.? Not everybody deserves to know you. The myth of earned intimacy. Psychological insight. Oversharing is often a symptom of attachment trauma, not transparency. Philosophical insight. Intimacy without discernment collapses the boundary between recognition and exploitation. Here's your metaphysical and/or spiritual insight. Access is a vibrational contract, not a relational default. Ooh. How many people just let them into the foyer of your spirit? And y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what a foyer is, right? Sometimes you just let them into the foyer and they'll think they back. You're not back. You in the foyer. Here's your empirical insight. Studies show boundary violations trigger nervous system dysregulation and emotional fatigue, according to Siegel and polyvagal theory. Emotional nudity is not a love language. The trauma reflex of oversharing, your psychological insight. Emotional dumping mimics the emotional enmeshment experienced in childhood neglect. Your philosophical insight. Confession does not equal communion. What is raw is not always real. Spiritual insight. To reveal sacred truths without ritual is to desecrate the temple of the self. What ritual is needed? I'm going to get to it. 1-800-920-1580. High rates of cortisol and emotional burnout are linked to repetitive, unreciprocated disclosure in relational dynamics, according to Brown and Brené. That's what we own right now. Trauma bonds disguised as soul contracts. Why you're addicted to the unworthy. Listen, healing is not like going to CVS and picking up some Theraflu, okay? Some Theraflu. Healing is not that simple. Many of us think we can just heal because we regurgitate spiritual syntax. We regurgitate spiritual wording, verbiage, language, right? But the reality of it is, healing hurts. Sorry, I'm just here to tell you. Healing hurts. Evolving hurts. It's not an easy walk, right? It's not. But many of us think if we can regurgitate the words, the terms, the phrases, the concepts, if we understand it intellectually, boom, we're healed. No. Listen, until you heal, the unworthy will remain your soulmate. What? What? See, when you actively repress what is in you to be reconciled. And you attract somebody who is equally committed to the process of suppressing and repressing the work that needs to be done. You make yourself unworthy of the gifts that live within you. You are divine by nature, divine by birth, but your ego tells you the unworthy is for you because it's easier, because it's comfortable. Do you see? Why you're addicted to the unworthy. Trauma bonds disguised as soul contracts. Many confuse attachment activation for love due to unhealed abandonment wounds. Listen, when you allow the unhealed abandonment wounds a seat at the table, without reconciling, without embracing with the love, without looking objectively with love and empathy, they'll never heal. They're going to always sit at the head of the table. They're going to always get the big piece of chicken. They're going to always be in control of your internal life, which manifests in your external relationships. Do you see? Many confuse attachment activation for love due to unhealed abandonment wounds. Right? What we think is destiny is often familiarity, repeating itself until interrupted. Trauma recognizes trauma. Don't that sound familiar? Andy, what that sound like? When you heard trauma recognize trauma, what that sound like? Real recognize real. Hurt recognize hurt. Trauma recognizes trauma, not truth. Karmic ties are not always divine ties. Huh? Empirical insight. According to fMRI studies, right, it shows increased dopamine in relationships mimicking addictive cycles. That's Lebowitz. Hurt recognizes hurt, man. Trauma recognizes trauma. That's how you connect with a person. If you're unindividuated, if you haven't gotten on the pathway to healing. The spiritual cost of unreciprocated vulnerability when I come forward. I'm asking you, who has access? Why have you given them access? Get to your phone lines. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need you to understand that everybody shouldn't get the same version of you. Everybody doesn't deserve the same level of access to you. There are some people that need to just be associates. There are some people that just need a little bit of information. There are some people that you want to give everything to, but everybody shouldn't get everything. Figure out where people belong and put them in those places. Easy as that. Air hugs and cyber kisses.
Is that the young lady that we played earlier? Hey, man, people out here talking, man, and I want to know, at what level of intimacy, right? Is there, like, if we look at it like a military rank, what is your intimacy clearance? Yeah, she said some people should just be associates, right? At what level of intimacy clearance does your significant other need to have access to in order to gain access to your inner thoughts and feelings, right? Is your partner only permitted to follow orders because they haven't been granted sufficient intimacy clearance to contribute to your healing? I'm interested to know. If I speak sacred truth to someone who seeks to control rather than commune, do I transmit light or activate their shadow? Could offering emotional transparency to someone not initiated or integrated in reciprocity resemble spiritual exhibitionism? Like, I'm just throwing it away. Pearls to swine. Could offering emotional transparency to someone not initiated in reciprocity resemble spiritual exhibitionism? Might my impulse to share everything reflect a trauma-based compulsion to be seen rather than a sovereign choice to be known? Eesh. Does access equal entitlement? Or do I confuse empathy with obligation when I do not discern who may enter my sacred space? If I withhold my inner world from those who demand access, does that make me guarded or awake? In what ways might my fear of being too much mask an unconscious knowing that they are not enough to hold me? 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Come on, let's get to the phone lines. 1-800-920-1580. Let's talk about it. Could oversharing represent a covert form of spiritual self-harm disguised as intimacy? What parts of me have only ever been touched by projections and never by presence? Might giving somebody access to my inner world be a trauma reenactment I never assessed? Are y'all listening? I see my people in the chat right now. Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. And don't forget, this is a national discussion. If you want to participate, call in, because when we get on the other side, I'm going to be bringing in the callers almost immediately. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Might giving someone access to my inner world be a trauma reenactment if I never assessed their spiritual readiness? When did I first equate vulnerability with value? And how did that belief invite violation? Man, oh Manischewitz. Do I confuse emotional intensity with energetic integrity? Eesh. If someone hasn't earned access to my nervous system, why do I entrust them with my nervous breakdowns? When we come forward, oh Lord, the voice of reason, is somebody going to answer these questions? We got callers from all over the country. Let's get it cracking.
New management. I'm in love with the new management. Yeah. Someone very special came into my life. Nobody can take his place. He filled my empty space.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says the Trump administration is using the city to push its extreme immigration agenda.
We will defend our ordinance and continue to defend policies that reflect the long-standing values of our city.
This comes after the Department of Justice sued Los Angeles to end its sanctuary city status. Bass calls the lawsuit an all-out assault. You can now rent Michael Jordan's former Chicago mansion on Airbnb. It sleeps 12 with 7 bedrooms, a movie theater, cigar lounge, salon, and a full basketball court. The cost, about $121,000 for a week. And former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama are thanking U.S. foreign aid workers as most staff at USAID left Monday after the Trump administration shut it down. Bush praised their role in saving lives, while Obama called closing the agency a mistake. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Join the Dodgers for Yoshinobu Yamamoto bobblehead night on July 2nd versus the White Sox. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in and take home a special Yamamoto bobble presented by A&A. Celebrate one of the National League's most dominant pitchers. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready? Drop it!
Mr. Travis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, it's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. Are you tired of stains stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean, they elevate. Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your wallet happy. Listen, all you gotta do is connect with them in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Whether it's grass-stained jeans, silk that's seen better days, or a hemline emergency before date night, you're on deck with California Cleaners, located at 1326 North La Brea Avenue, Inglewood, California.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, Member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
While all the time that I was loving you, you were busy loving yourself. I would stop breathing if you told me to. Now you're busy loving someone else. 11 years out of my life. Besides the kids, I had nothing to show. Wasted my years, a fool of a wife. I should have left your ass long time ago.
There's only one way to know if someone is safe for your nervous system. It's not how long you've known them. It's not how well they hide their red flags. It's not even how much you laugh together. It's how they respond to your vulnerability. Do they hold it or weaponize it? Do they listen or get defensive? Do they stay present or do they shut down? Because the ones who are safe won't make you shrink or second guess. They'll make your system regulate, and you can't fake that biological response.
Very interesting take. The voice of reason, live from KBLA Talk 1580. We're on complete fire tonight. You already know what it is, episode 6 in the series of the spiritual nature of relationships. You've heard me say it for years now. Relationships are inherently spiritual. And now we're giving you these episodes that break down the different spiritual aspects of relationships. Now, mind you, what do we do? 8? We're going to do 8. There are so many more. There's so many more than just 8. But I figured 2 weeks of it is enough, right? But tonight's episode, the law of access. Many people have yet to master who should come into their space, or why the people who are already in their space, how did they even get access? How did they get the keys? Could sharing too soon, too often, too deeply with the unworthy be the equivalent of casting pearls before spiritual predators? Yeah, you're not supposed to have dead air on radio, but you gotta let the mic drop on now. Do you understand? Did you hear it? Could sharing too soon, too often, too deeply with the unworthy be the equivalent of casting pearls before spiritual predators? If I become spiritually silent for a season, what would remain when performative vulnerability dissolves? What emerges in me when I realize that not everyone who desires me deserves me? I want to know what you guys think. We have callers on the line, and I think it's important that we get their perspective on this because, this topic is deep. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Attila, Houston, Texas, you're up first. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Child, I'm here. So I asked a question in the chat, and Captain was like, yes and no. But I'm going to ask you. So does giving access grant dark forces access to you, or is it just an open door to release what's already present within you?
Ooh. Wait, say that again.
So does giving access grant dark forces access to you, or are you just opening the door to release what's already present?
Could be both. I love it. I love
right?
it.
She was like, yeah, no, I mean, like, kind of. Because I'm like, okay, I'm attracting my equal, right? But equal in what sense? I think the one thing that you and a quote-unquote unworthy source or person would share at that time, the one common ground you have is your perception of you, who you are. Y'all share the same perception. So you see yourself in a low place, and they see you in a low place as well. That's avoidant, right? When you think about someone who's anxious, they see their partner in a high esteem, and they see themselves in a low esteem. When you think about dismissive avoidant, they have a low esteem of their partner, but a high esteem of themselves. You see how like the dichotomy there. So it's just something that I like thought about. I was like, well, the one thing that I was sharing common with somebody that's an unworthy source is that we both see me as low. So I guess the idea would be to really come into an idea of who you are. That would be the antidote to this equation. And it got me thinking about like past even friendships that I've had. The only thing that really was holding that relationship or connection together was my low perception of myself. We agreed on that. And my agreement, right, is the thing that helped us both work together. That is the thing that kept me in that particular space. So when I move up out of that, when you have a quote unquote glow up, as they say now, this is why there is no support. This is why when you're doing well, they're mute. Right? So like you asked in the first clip, you were like, is she angry? I don't know if it's anger or if it's more so just a feeling of like, man, I'm just tired. I think you get tired of your own ish. And in getting tired of yourself, you're tired of other people as well that are on that same frequency. So I guess it's just a matter of like personal choice, but it's something that I thought about. And I think as long as, you and I talked about this earlier, as long as I'm blind to my own issues, right, I'm also going to be blind to that other person as well.
All day in America. That's going to happen.
All day.
All day in America. Girl.
All day.
Hey, guess what you just did, young one?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is on the board. Are you ready to bring your city on the board? All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Bouncing out of Houston, Texas, we going to go, what is that, northeast? Just a little bit northeast? Yeah, we going to go over to Indianapolis, Naptown in the house. You already know what it is. Ronin. Oh, here we go. Seatbelts, buckle up. Ronin. Get ready. He done brought Naptown in the building, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, brother?
Well, these definitely this topic had me cussing before I called in. This sounds like an Osler conversation, but you got to ask yourself: are we willing to pay the price for interpersonal whistleblowing?
Here we go. Tell us what that is. Interpersonal whistleblowing. What does that mean, sir?
Well, it seems like some people are trying to leverage their liabilities for love. Or
go deeper.
Well, the thing is, like, some people are willing to have company so bad they'll give some of their vulnerabilities just for the illusion of loyalty or love, and really, you're giving the key to the kingdom to snakes.
Ooh. Oh, you came for blood today, huh?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's the one thing you worry about outsiders, but what about the ones that either birthed you or grew up with you?
Wow. So you saying they taught you how to betray yourself?
Most times. I mean, most will convince you, like, hey, look, the more you betray yourself, the more we can be close to you.
Wow.
But at what cost?
Yikes. Don't do that, Ronin. This is the first hour, Ronin. Why you got to hit them on they upside their dome piece like that? But let me just say this. When there is a lack of emotional attunement in the early developmental stages of children, the boundaries are going to be weak in terms of who gets to come in. Because what happens is when the parents are not emotionally attuned, when they're not tapped in, that plants the seed of desirous, insatiable craving for a lot of kids, right? Even if they become avoidant, because inside the avoidant, there's still the desire for intimacy. It's just that they've contextualized intimacy as a source of fear, right? But, okay, you get your anxious preoccupied, I'm going to go chase the love that I didn't get at home. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm going to perform for it in the relationship arena. Here's the thing, man. This is a tough one, and I'm throwing this to you. What happens in the moment you find out, right, that this is your particular attachment style, this is your particular proclivity for chasing or allowing people into your space, how then do you batten down the hatches, so to speak, in order to protect yourself moving forward? How do you do it?
You got to have a healthy appetite for the truth that is that medicine, as far as like learning what you are, what you're dealing with, and taking those necessary steps to heal yourself. So if you were raised to be a flying monkey and you basically dismiss the program, you have to deal with the shards and arrows that come with it.
Ooh, so you got to get clipped first.
You have to. I mean, in a way, you have to look at it as how a phoenix is born. It has to. Certain parts of it has to be destroyed in order to bring the best of it of itself.
Man, I was on the phone with Kool Mo D today, and he said sometimes people have to crash into their delusions in order to heal.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I mean,
and that's
right.
literally
Right.
what you're saying right now. That's literally what you're saying.
To keep it bluntly, it's like you have to be willing to lynch your lie.
Lynch your lie?
Yes.
Only on the Voice of Reason will you hear Ronan from the Kidnapped. You got to be willing to lynch the lie you told yourself? Is that what you're saying?
Well, so if you don't lynch your lie, you'll be the one left hanging.
Okay, now you just showing off. Hey, hold tight. I got to have him one more segment. Hold tight. When we come forward, we're going back to Naptown. My brother, you hear him. Ronan out here cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, family? Let's talk about the fear I had of losing myself in love and romantic situations. I'm Eleanor, and this is Dismissible Me, where I break down dismissive avoidant attachment from the inside out. I didn't have a fear of love itself. I wouldn't say that. I would say I had a fear of the consequences of being in love or the consequences of being in a relationship. You know, what I'd have to give up to keep it. So in talking about, you know, losing myself or the fear of losing myself, to me, being in a relationship meant being erased. It meant that your needs would eclipse mine, that at some point my needs, regardless of what they actually are, would be eclipsed by your needs, your feelings, your need for time, your need for me to be more emotionally available, your need for me to be more vulnerable to match you where you're at, you know, and I hate the idea of having to sacrifice all of me to, you know, create this new situation with someone else. I also have this fear of my autonomy being compromised. And that's kind of been a theme throughout the week, not just on this channel, but even on my second one. Link is down below. Again, like, share, subscribe. But my autonomy being compromised is one of my number one fears. My ability to be myself. My ability to keep and maintain my routines while also growing and building this relationship with someone is a major concern of mine. I don't want to be one of these.
I know I let her go longer than she normally does. I just wanted to see how much more selfishness could be. Things have to go my way. Things have to be organized this way. How do you know when to not let someone like that into your space? We're talking about the law of access. I'm asking the question, like, does that person show up like that day one, or do they gradually spring it on you like Dave Chappelle? Gotcha. Like, I'm wondering, like, do they show up like that initially? Or is there some type of camouflage? Because if I saw or if I heard or engaged up front with someone that was like that up front, no way. I'm interested to know. What do you think? We got Ronan from Indianapolis. He was cooking, man. Hey, man. Hey, this access thing is real, bro. It's a real situation, man. So I was asking you questions about when do you give someone access? When do you recognize that you may have self-sabotaged when allowing someone access to yourself, your thoughts?
I say when you understand the responsibilities, accountability of having said access to yourself. Because a lot of us are a little bit careless with everything. Everything isn't meant to be shared immediately. Some things aren't meant to be shared at all. So some of those lessons, like, again, it's like some of those lessons, if you sit there and put them in the wrong hands, it can be catastrophic. So that's why when it comes to clearance, you understand the information you've been given. You start having discernment of who can and cannot have access to said information. So that's like giving weapon secrets to the enemy out there. You can't weaponize everybody with that.
So if we're looking at relationships through the lens of Army ranks,
see where you going?
I'm just saying, the intimacy clearance, everybody starts off at an E1, right? A private.
Right.
What do they have to do to get to E2 private number 2? What do they have to exhibit? Because I know if you're going up the rank, right, there's certain things you got to do in order to pass, okay, you're no longer a private anymore. There's certain benchmarks you got to hit in order to get to E2, right, or PV2. You tell me, what do they have to do to get to the next level from private?
You have to graduate from relationship boot camp.
Oh, Lord. Don't make me do a topic. Relationship boot camp.
Yeah.
Is that like premarital counseling? Talk to me.
Well, here's the thing. As a Marine veteran, when you first went to boot camp, they called you a nasty civilian because of your ways, habit, and mindset. So they had to start you from scratch. Like, we had 72 hours of hell. Basically, we was up, running around, doing all kinds of things and processing. So over time,
nobody's proven themselves to be down anymore.
That's the problem.
But see, that's the military, right? People say, this ain't the military. This is relationships. Nobody has to prove themselves to be down with anybody. But I still think this intimacy clearance, right? You need to be of a certain rank to be able to, access certain sensitive information about your partner. How about that?
Well, I mean, it's like no different than boot camp. You have to know the information given to you by the service. Otherwise, you cannot be part of the fleet.
Man, stay right there. Don't go nowhere. We're going back to Indianapolis. My man is still cooking.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says the Trump administration is using the city to push its extreme immigration agenda.
We will defend